The man who stole Lady Gaga's dogs and shot her dog walker will spend the next couple of decades in prison. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office says 19-year-old James Howard Jackson accepted a plea deal with a 21-year sentence. Authorities have said pop superstar Lady Gaga was not targeted specifically, but instead, Jackson and 4 other people drove all over Los Angeles looking for dogs to steal. And in fact, they were allegedly looking for French bulldogs specifically because they can sell them for thousands of dollars. The dog walker, Ryan Fisher, was robbed and shot by Jackson. When authorities put up a reward for the 2 dogs that Jackson took, another member of the alleged conspiracy tried to return them and collect the reward money. The 4 other people allegedly involved have all been charged. According to Rolling Stone, Fisher talked about his trauma at Jackson's sentencing, ultimately forgiving him for the attack. Now, Terry, the other 4 people involved, they haven't accepted a plea deal, they haven't gone to trial. Does this no contest plea from Jackson, does it have an impact on their cases?
It could, but I don't think so. A no contest plea is when the defendant pleads, no contest. Basically, he's saying there's enough evidence here against me, but I'm not going to plead guilty and I'm not going to plead not guilty. I'm saying it's not a contest, so I'm just going to go straight to sentencing. And essentially, I think the others are going to look at that and they're going to take their chances, I believe, because he's not admitting that he's guilty. And frankly, they may or may not have evidence against the others. So if I'm defending those individuals, I might tell them, look, they don't have enough evidence against you. Maybe they had more evidence against him. You should take your chances and just go ahead straight to trial. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the others involved in this are going to plead also. They could, but they may decide to take their chance.
Brian, you agree with that? I mean, Jackson taking a plea, does it change the strategy to take a plea or go to trial for the others?
So I disagree, Jesse, because I think what it does is it pushes you one way or another. What happens now is Jackson is the benchmark. Whatever he did, he got 21 years and a no contest plea. So if I'm representing someone who did less than Jackson and has less of a criminal record, I'm going to the prosecutor and saying, hey, if he got 21 years, then my guy should get 5 or 3 or whatever it may be. And if I can get that number, my client's definitely taking it. But if they've got less evidence against my guy than they do Jackson, and I see that he takes the plea, I might be more inclined to go to trial and throw him under the proverbial bus to say, hey, they got their pound of flesh. They got the guy who was guilty. My guy, just like an accessory after the fact, didn't know what was going on. You might be able to win the case, but it does affect.
I like when you both disagree because you both provide great arguments. I don't know what to make at the end of the day.
I think he agreed with me at the end of the day.
Maybe. Well, I do want to talk to you about something else because we recently reported on the gunman who was charged in the murder of Migos rapper Takeoff. Well, now the suspect is claiming that law enforcement has the wrong guy. The Houston Police Department announced the arrest of 33-year-old Patrick Xavier Clark on Friday. That was nearly 4 weeks after the 28-year-old artist was gunned down at a private party following what law enforcement said was a lucrative dice game. After a bond hearing on Monday, Clark's attorney told reporters that her client is, quote, nervous and concerned over being charged with something that he believes he's innocent of. According to court records, when Clark was arrested, he had an expedited passport and a, quote, large amount of cash. Investigators claim he had plans to flee the country, but Clark's attorney said he had been planning to go to Mexico on vacation, but just canceled his trip before. Over now to a story of hope out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. 1 year later, a holiday parade returned to a community that has suffered such tremendous loss. Parade goers were seen holding up tribute signs and floats bore the parade. Waukesha Strong. They bore the phrase Waukesha Strong as the city remembered their fellow neighbors who were killed in the tragedy. You might recall last month, Darrell Brooks Jr. was sentenced to life in prison without parole for plowing his SUV into Waukesha's previous holiday parade. He took the lives of 6 people, injured dozens of others. The city announced on Facebook that a new parade route will be put in place along with vehicle barriers, technology devices like drones and cameras, enhanced public safety personnel on site, and other security measures.